So let's talk about resources. What else can you do, or what resources can you use when you're working with Animate CSS? So the first resource that I've already mentioned throughout this course, but I definitely want to recommend it again, is W3 Schools. Just being able to pull up W3 Schools and have the code hints right there, or even say, okay, what are the basics of CSS animations? Well, let's look it up in W3 Schools, and it has the code. You can see exactly kind of the basics of getting started with it. Start with that, and then adding on additional ones through the W3 Schools there. But the Mastering CSS Animations course would allow you to really go in and dive deep into CSS animations. So you can go in and create your own CSS animations and then use basically Animate CSS as your foundation, and you can then share the custom animations that you've done through the Animate CSS framework. You can share that with somebody else. You can tweak some of the basic animations as well, and you can adjust some of that and kind of share that, and then have other people attach the CSS animations to their own projects that they can use. And then the final thing is really just dive into jQuery basics. We only covered just basic things in jQuery like add class, remove class, and then events. We didn't really cover anything else beyond that. There is a lot more that you can do with jQuery, and you can then trigger these different classes at certain times. You can do it based off of orientation. You can do it based off of touch, based off of swipe. So there's just a lot more that you can do with jQuery that would take your animations even further. So I highly recommend finding a course in Pluralsight for jQuery basics. So those are some of the main resources that I would use to go even further, and just make sure you have the W3 Schools pulled up. That would just give you that documentation right there as well. Go into Animate CSS's website and then view the GitHub and look at the documentation there as well. We covered everything that's pretty much in that documentation, but just for reference, if you want to just take a look at the list of different types of animations. So those are some of the resources that I would recommend, and in the next video we're going to wrap up the course.